Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Kent Lutzen. It's Montana's biggest day for football, and fans from across the state turned on their TVs, filled the bars, and most importantly, declared their love for either the University of Montana Grizzlies or the Montana State Bobcats. MTN's Derek Berkeley was at the Brawl of the Wild, where the two teams met head-to-head.
For the first time since 2005, the Grizzlies lose here in Bozeman. And for the second year in a row, it was because they couldn't stop the run. The Bobcats piled up 322 yards on the ground, and the Grizzly defense just could not get off the field. They found themselves behind early on, kept trying to make a comeback, and in the end, they had a chance on a final drive, but a fourth down pass incomplete with just seconds left, and the Grizz fall 31-23. Now the Grizzlies will most likely miss the playoffs with a 7-4 record, although head coach Bob Stitt is still holding out hope. His team has done enough to convince the committee to get into the postseason. Coming up later in sports, we'll have full highlights and reaction from this 117th battle between Bobcats and Grizzlies. In Bozeman, Derek Berkeley, MTN Sports.
The good old-fashioned Montana rivalry extends far beyond the Bobcat and Washington stadiums, as both Grizz and Cat fans crowded sports bars across Missoula. For the most part, people maintain the sportsmanship, but as the biggest sporting event in the state, it's understandable why fans are excited.
I think it's the Super Bowl of Montana. You know, it's two great in-state teams. It's a rivalry that dates back a lot longer than I've been alive, and you know what? I certainly enjoy my time in being able to watch it and participate in it. And thankfully, I'm not in Bozeman today because it's enemy territory.
Basically, like most of my aunts and uncles and my parents all went to U of M, and I'm like the only real Cat fan in my family. And so, like, I was just telling them earlier, I have a lot of cousins who, even if they didn't go to U of M, they really like U of M. And so they're putting, like, their babies, they're dressing them up in Grizzly gear and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, your baby is, like, really not cute.
I don't think there's any higher accolade in the state of Montana than being a Grizz fan. Sorry, Bobcats, but Missoula's #1, and go Grizz.
And the rivalry lives on, and those fans saw a little bit of sun, some clouds. It's shaping up to be a beautiful weekend. Let's go to meteorologist Russ Thomas for more on weather. Russ.
Yeah, it's a pretty good looking day here in western Montana. Again, we've got some sunshine with clouds breaking in there as well. I think Sunday, especially early today, is going to feature even more sunshine. Here's a look at our St. Joseph Medical Center iCam, and you can see now this is taken about 3 hours ago. At that time, Polson was looking about the 50-50 mix of sun and clouds. A little farther south, we were getting even more sunshine. In fact, this is a look of our First Security Bank iCam in Hamilton, showing you that clear blue sunny sky, beautiful. And that was taken just within the last hour or so. Now we do have some weather changes. I think after tomorrow we head into Thanksgiving week, and it looks like it could be pretty wet. Your complete forecast is coming up.
Thanks, Russ. A 24-year-old man is dead after he was shot and killed by Billings police officers on the south side in Billings. Police were called to a home for a disturbance. Witnesses said the suspect used a pickup to ram the callers twice before leaving the area. Officers located the suspect and attempted to pull him over. The suspect fled, and chase began that lasted 30 minutes. He was spotted on Bunting Street in South Billings. Police said he was slumped over the wheel, not obeying commands. After awakening, the suspect attempted to flee in the vehicle, striking several patrol cars, forcing officers to jump out of the way. 5 officers, 2 using patrol rifles and 3 using handguns, fired at the vehicle, striking the suspect multiple times. He was later pronounced dead. The number of shots fired and whether or not the suspect had a weapon is unknown. No officers were injured. And hours later, officers responded to another shooting at Bones Brewery on Broadway Avenue in Billings shortly after 1 a.m. 2 men were involved in a disturbance inside the bar. The suspect used a handgun to shoot the victim in the abdomen. He then fled the scene on foot. Police say the victim is in stable condition. Officers checked the area but were unable to locate the suspect, who was described as a tall African male who with an average build. Anyone with information, contact the Billings Police Department. And thousands of Montana children are in limbo, called foster care. It's a system kids enter afraid and alone and often turn 18 without finding a permanent home. The heartbreaking reality is known as aging out. Today, 3,900 Montana kids are in foster care, with nearly 500 of them awaiting adoption. In this special assignment, MTN's Asia Gore takes us for a walk in their shoes to show us the challenges foster kids face now and later.
My life today is basically just taking care of that little one and raising him to have a good life that I never had.
Jasmine McCrae is a 21-year-old single mother. Her baby, King, is her pride and joy. Jasmine wants to be the mother she never had.
She had a terrible drinking issue, and she just snapped one night and ended up cutting off all my hair with a butcher knife. My brother ran in the snow in just his pajamas to go get help. I do have a big scar on my head.
That was the breaking point, the moment Jasmine and her 8 siblings were removed. She was just 13. Jasmine entered Montana's foster care system and lived with 5 different families over the next 5 years.
I've been to Laurel, I've been to Senior, Skyview, and West.
Before she graduated from any of those schools, Jasmine emancipated herself and dropped out. Nearly 300 miles away in Glasgow, Jimmy Walker was removed from her home after Child Protective Services learned her mother was an alcoholic and her boyfriend a sex offender.
She would blame me for her financial problems because they took my part of the Social Security away.
Walker's father died when she was an infant, so she was placed with a foster family in Livingston, where she lived through 4 years of high school. Unlike Jasmine, Jimmy was not forced to move, but she too was never adopted. This year, as Jimmy weighed whether to go off to college or return to her mother, the decision was made for her.
Out of the blue, she just passes away, and I'm left alone up here with no one.
To cope, Jimmy is focusing on her classes at Montana State University in Bozeman, where she earned 2 scholarships.
I want to succeed, I want to do good, so my life doesn't suck anymore.
Jasmine and Jimmy entered the same system and left on 2 different paths. State data shows 65 Montana kids aged out just last year. Many are now in jail, on government assistance, even homeless. Suzanne Braun with Child and Family Services says a lack of foster parents and high caseloads for social workers keeps kids in limbo.
Best practice would be in the lower 20s. So our workers are carrying double that.
To help bridge the gap, programs like Chafee offer career guidance and life skills.
Early on, I really pushed education and learned really quickly that these kids don't grow up in homes where they're required to go to school, and that's not made important. I had to learn really early on that they didn't want to continue on in education, and that wasn't a failure, that there's lots of ways to be out in the world and be successful.
Chafee Director Stephanie Marquis says employment, housing, and parenting are all forms of success. She's mentored hundreds of kids in the Yellowstone County program. Only 2 graduated college.
Their mental health gets in the way of all of this. So they have a lot of grief and a lot of trauma that they face that normal kids just don't have to go through.
Tumbleweed crisis counselor Rebecca Perfett answers calls from teens in their darkest hour.
I've had numerous calls of just, is there a place that I can stay tonight? A lot of the homeless teens that are just needing a warm place to stay.
Perfett brings personal experience to the conversation. She was in foster care, shuffled through 5 different homes in just over a year.
It's just feeling alone and not belonging to any family. No one's going to understand you.
Perfett did not age out. She was returned to her mother. And Braun says that's the goal, reunification. But for many kids, home is too dangerous.
Entering the foster care system should be an experience for them that reaches out and embraces them and wraps around them to get them the services that they need. But it also can come with a different set of trauma for children as well.
As they navigate adulthood, it's not without the trauma they experienced as children. Jasmine and Jimmy tell me they want a system of care redesigned with kids in mind, one that offers options and gives foster kids a voice. In Billings, I'm Asia Gore, MTN News.
Neglect, abuse, and exposure to illegal substances are the most common reasons children are placed in foster care here in Montana. Coming up after the break, a huge turnout for an even better cause. Dennis Bragg shows us how the community raised 3 tons of turkey in a single day. That story up next.